Welcome everyone, Dr. Michael Lamas here for teaching subjects. Today we will discuss mastering verb tenses in English grammar. So this video is going to take a deep dive in verb tenses, which is an essential part of the IELTS. We will look at the past, the present, and future tenses. Okay, so let's begin by understanding what verb tenses are. So simply put, verb tenses helps us express when an action or an event takes place, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future. For those taking the IELTS exam, mastering verb tenses is important for your fluency and accuracy. And you'll often find yourself switching between tenses in speaking and writing tasks, and knowing how to do this correctly is going to set you apart. So as mentioned earlier, we're going to focus on the three primary tenses: the past, present, and future, along with their various forms. Okay, so first let's take a closer look at the past tense. Now this tense is used to describe actions or events that happened before the present moment. It's essential for narrating stories, sharing experiences, or discussing things that are no longer true. There are four main forms of the past tense that we're going to cover. So there's the simple past, complete action in the past, right? Then the past continuous, which is ongoing actions at a specific past time. Then there's the past perfect. These are actions completed before another past event. And lastly, past perfect continuous. And this is ongoing actions before another past event. And each has a specific role, and understanding these distinctions is important when you're doing the speaking and the writing tasks. Okay, so first let's start with the simple past and the past continuous. The simple past is used for actions that are completed and have no direct connection to the present. So for example, I walked to the store. It's a straightforward statement of fact about something that happened in the past. On the other hand, the past continuous is used to describe an ongoing action that was happening at a specific moment in the past. So for instance, I was walking to the store when it started raining. Notice how this form emphasizes the duration or background action, and understanding the difference between these two is important when you're describing events, especially in the speaking part 2 or writing narratives. Okay, so next we have the past perfect and past perfect continuous. The past perfect is used to show that one action happened before another action in the past. So for example, I had finished my homework before I watched TV. So here we're indicating that one event finished, right, which is finishing homework. This was completed before the second event, which is watching TV. The past perfect continuous now focuses on the duration of an activity up until another past event. So for example, I had been studying for 2 hours when my friend called. Now this tense highlights the ongoing nature of the action, and both are excellent tools for showing the sequence of past events, especially when you start doing the writing tasks. Okay, so now let's move on to the present tense. And this is perhaps the most versatile tense because it can describe actions happening now, regular habits, or general truths. So we use present tense all the time, especially if you're taking the IELTS exam in the speakings parts 1 and 3. You're going to be asked about your daily life or opinions, and these are going to be very important for you to know. There are four forms to be aware of. There is the simple present, which is regular actions or general truths. The present continuous, actions happening right now. The present perfect, which is completed actions with current relevance. And the present perfect continuous, which is ongoing actions from past to now. And each one has a specific function, and we're going to discuss them more in depth in the next slide. Okay, so first let's discuss the simple present and past continuous. So the simple present is used for habitual actions or general truths, such as I read every day or the sun rises in the east. This is the tense you'll use to describe your daily routine or common practices when you're doing the speaking tests in the IELTS exam. And the present continuous, on the other hand, is used for actions that are happening now, such as I am reading a book. This is great for talking about current activities, which is useful for both the speaking and the writing sections of the exam. Okay, so now let's compare the present perfect and the present perfect continuous. So the present perfect links past actions to present moments, such as I have read that book, right? I have read that book. It's often used when discussing past experience or recent achievements, which is important in the speaking part 2 section. Now, the present perfect continuous, like I have been reading for 2 hours, this emphasizes the duration of an ongoing action. Now, this tense is excellent for showing how long something has been happening up until now, which can add depth to your responses. The key difference is that the present perfect often focuses on the completion of an action and its impact now, right? In contrast, the present perfect continuous emphasizes the duration of an activity, showing how long something has continued and it is still relevant. Okay, so finally, let's talk about future tense. And this is used to describe actions that will happen after the present moment. So in the IELTS, you might use the future tense to talk about plans, predictions, or expectations, especially in the speaking and the writing section. So there are 4 forms, right? You have the simple future that is about predicted or planned actions. So, for example, I will travel to Japan next summer. Then you have the future continuous, which is about ongoing actions at future time. So, for example, this time tomorrow, I will be flying to Japan. Then you have the future perfect, and these include actions completed by future points. So, for example, by the end of this year, I will have completed my degree. Okay. And then lastly, you have the future perfect continuous, which are ongoing actions up to a future point. So by the time she arrives, I will have been waiting for 2 hours, right? And each one has a role in conveying different levels of certainty and duration. Okay, so just to wrap things up, we've covered the past, present, and future tenses in great detail, right? Each of these tenses plays a specific role in how we communicate actions, experiences, and plans. For those taking the IELTS, it's very important to use tenses accurately to express yourself clearly and precisely. So, whether in your writing task or during the speaking tests. And remember, the key to mastering tenses is consistent practice, getting comfortable with switching between tenses and knowing when each one is appropriate. So for that, I want to say thank you for joining. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.